You know those old chain messages from school? The ones that said, "Forward this to 10 friends, or the rain lady will get you"? Or that picture of the girl with black eyes, where if you stared too long, you'd hear footsteps in the hall. We all thought it was just dumb teenage stuff, right? I always just deleted them until I got this one message. It wasn't from a stranger. It was from my best friend, Leo. The subject line was weird. "This is not a chain letter. Read it and don't forward it." Inside was a text file. It was a poorly written story about something called the Whispering Man. It didn't say what he looked like, only that he finds you when you are completely and truly alone. It's not just physically, but when you're in a moment of quiet, deep despair. And when he finds you, he whispers 3 truths. The first is about a terrible mistake from your past you thought was buried forever. The second is about your greatest fear for the future. And the third is an order. I read it, got a weird feeling, and messaged Leo back. "Cool creepypasta, where'd you find it?" He replied instantly. "It wasn't my idea. Someone sent it to me." And now I know everything about my brother's motorcycle accident. What really happened? Leo's brother died years ago in what everyone thought was a simple traffic accident. But his message was pure panic. "Don't forward it," he pleaded. "If you don't pass it on, maybe it'll just stay with me. Maybe it'll get tired." I hung up feeling worried, but life moves on. That night I was working late at the office. Everyone else had gone home. The silence was absolute, except for the low hum of the servers. That's when I heard it. It wasn't a whisper. It was like the static from a badly tuned radio, the sound fading in and out. A rustle of tongues and teeth right behind my ear. I couldn't make out any words, but I felt this dry, freezing chill like being in a walk-in freezer, and I smelled static electricity and an empty earth. I bolted out of there and ran home. The second I walked in, my cat, who's normally super calm, arched his back, first standing on end, and hid under the sofa, hissing at nothing. That's when I knew I wasn't going crazy. The next day, Leo wasn't answering his phone. I went over to his apartment. The door was slightly ajar. Inside, everything looked normal, except for one thing. Scrawled on the living room wall, in what looked like charcoal dust or ash, were the words, "Did not follow instructions." And in the middle of the floor was Leo's phone, smashed to pieces like it had been crushed under an immense weight. I never heard from Leo again. The police searched, but you know how it is. The case went cold, filed away. Fear took hold of me. I had read the message. According to the twisted rules of this thing, I was in the game now. I remembered the line. It finds you when you're completely alone. So I became a hermit. I stopped going out. I had food delivered and would wait until the delivery person was long gone before I opened the door. I installed cameras all over my house, my eyes glued to the monitor, watching every empty corner. For weeks, it worked. All I saw was my own quiet, still house. I started to relax, thinking maybe the monster, the myth, whatever it was, had grown tired. Maybe Leo had been enough to satisfy it, until last night. The power went out across the entire neighborhood. A total blackout. The cameras died. The lights, the router, everything. The darkness was suffocating, blacker than any night I'd ever known, and the silence felt like being at the bottom of a deep well. That's when I understood. Being physically alone is one thing, but the loneliness of being blind and cut off in your own home, which suddenly feels like a strange, dark labyrinth. That is true loneliness. And then, the whispers started. They weren't coming from one place. They were coming from everywhere. It's from the dead air conditioner, from inside the walls, from behind the furniture. 3 phrases, spoken in a broken, ancient-sounding voice, like the crackling of dry branches. The first truth, he whispered the exact date and time my grandmother, on her deathbed, begged me to give her more sleeping pills. I was scared, so I called the nurse instead, but she died hours later in agony. The voice whispered, "You could have ended her suffering. We're a coward." A secret that had been eating me alive, that no one else in the world knew. The second truth, your heart, the voice hissed, now seeming to be inches from the back of my neck, will fail one rainy Tuesday 3 years from now. It's in a hospital waiting room alone, because your wife will have left you after learning the third truth. I felt a sharp, stabbing pain in my chest, a jolt of pure terror, and then came the third, the order. The whisper became clear, metallic, and impossible to disobey. Take the phone your friend left. It's under your bed. Turn it on. Forward the message. And this time, don't warn anyone. Let them experience curiosity before fear. Trembling, I crawled through the darkness and reached under my bed. My fingers found Leo's smashed phone. It was cold as ice. The moment I touched it, the screen lit up. It showed a single open app, the text editor, with the story of the whispering man, and a blinking button that read, "Forward to all contacts." Just then, the lights flickered back on. The hum of the fridge, the clocks, everything filled the house again. It all seemed normal. But in my hand, Leo's phone was burning with a cold digital fire. So, here I am, plugging this phone into a charger, with my own phone right next to it, full of all of you. My contacts, my friends, my family. This urban legend is real, but it's not a ghost. It's a virus. It's a parasite that travels through our need to share, our sick curiosity, and our deep fear of being alone. It feeds on secrets and plants despair. And I've already heard my 3 truths. The order is clear. So when you get a message, maybe from me, maybe from a number you don't recognize, with an innocent-looking subject line, please don't open it. Or if you do, make sure you are not alone. Never ever be alone again. Thanks for listening. Stay safe out there.